Hello and welcome to another Aggie's Beers, Wines and Spirits homebrew video. So today we're using this Wilko's Dark Velvet Stout mix, but I'm going to be putting in a mash of rhubarb, all cut up, all washed, cut up, all ready to go in. So first things first, I'm going to dash the rhubarb into the pan. I've got a pan of hot water. I've already used it once, so even if there's some rhubarb on the side, it's clean. Yeah, so make sure you always use a clean pan, obviously. So I'm going to put this in the pan there, because it's going to mash. And the good thing is, I can crack on with other stuff while this is mashing. And it's all about a bit of preparation. Obviously, cleanliness is godliness with all of this. You know. So, my aim, the experiment, is to make a rhubarb stout. I'll talk on camera, shall I? Yeah, the experiment is to make a rhubarb stout. That's the hope. By putting the rhubarb in at the beginning, it should work quite nicely. So, here's the tin. Let me find a knife to open the tin with. Or at least to prise the chuffing lid off. So, that's bubbling. I've already had one kettle full. You get your yeast, standard yeast, standard tin, and it needs a bloody tin opener. You swine. I thought it was going to come in a peel thing, so I was going to leave it until I've actually started to, you know, do it. So, first things first, I'm going to chuck the 2 litres of sugar. So I'm sorry, 2 litres, 2 pints. Chucking 2 pints of sugar into the sterilised fermentation bucket. So I'm going for about 6% rhubarb beer. Rhubarb Stout, as it were. So while that's bubbling, let's get this tin open and crack on. I mean, if you're watching this and you fancy a go at doing the same sort of thing, or fancy experimenting, why not? Why not experiment? If you've got 20 quid spare. So the rhubarb's cost me nothing. The sugar's £1.25. The kit is 12 quid. So even if you was to buy the rhubarb, you're looking at about 3 quid for the same amount of rhubarb. And look at that, that is a sticky. There it is, there's your sticky gooey stuff. Looks disgusting. Pour it in. I'm going to pour it in like this, put a hot kettle full in there, and then while the second kettle's boiling, I can use that to wash it out, because obviously you don't want any of that rinse. You can beforehand put this in hot water and get it to be a bit more, you know, a bit more easy going, shall we say. You know, it's like something that come out my arse the other night. Jesus Christ. And bear in mind, it's as gooey as they come. So I'm going to pour the hot water into the tin and pray that it don't burn my bloody hands. So, while that sits there, because now it's stopped it from going over the edge. So, put the kettle on again, second kettle full of hot water. And then I've got to do some stirring. And as you may have heard me say before, my wife says I'm a good stirrer. And like I've said before, I used to be. So I'm going to give this a stir, try and get it to dissolve the sugar, loosen up the malt. thing is to keep stirring it until, one, the sugar's gone, and two, the malty stuff, you know, the mix, there's no resistance basically. But once I feel like there's water with no sugar in the bottom. Now I've known friends of mine add coffee, half a jar of coffee in there to make it more toasty roasty, you know. So what I like about these kits are the fact that what you can do with them, they're a good core kit that you can add to. So like the IPA kit they've got, I'm going to do some ginger root and I'm going to make a ginger IPA, similar to what Krabby's did with their Krabby's IPA. But I'm going to make a ginger IPA. Get £2 worth of ginger, and so for under 20 quid, a ginger IPA. That's going to have quite a bit of fire in its belly. And if this works, you may go down the supermarket or a veg store, get some prunes, and do a plums, and do a plum beer. And I hope it doesn't taste like prune juice wine. Now that has mixed. That has mixed quite nicely. So I just need to wash out the tin now, which is the next step. Obviously, that's boiling away nicely, the rhubarb, as you can see. So let's have a quick spin round. There's the rhubarb boiling away. There's the stuff in there, that's mixed. So, yeah, it's very hard to do lots of different things. Show you everything all at once. I haven't got a camera eye up there, but you don't want to see my scruffy kitchen anyway. And luckily enough the kettle's on, so the wife can't even say that. I'm sure she'll be well impressed. So I've never done this before, it's a total experiment. A friend of mine from my old workplace, we call him Ginge, and he did experiments. On the first day of his brewing life, straight away into experiments. Making Corona, Cerveza, Mexican Cerveza, but adding a lime already to it and it came out oof. And so, you know, that spurred me on to messing about. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Can't win more in life, can you? I know that the last year of the job I've been in, but what can you do? So the rhubarb's starting to bubble away now. I want to get it nice and mushy before I add it to this. Plus there's a bit of work to do beforehand. All about preparation, all about cleanliness. Can't be stressed enough with any beer, wine, spirit making. Right, it's nearly boiled, so I can add some to this. And I've actually got a mitten, because when that gets hot, it's a bugger, should we say. So get a chance to stop bubbling, because it's split. See that? Oof. I'm going to add it in now. I need the tin to be clean, because obviously all the malt's in there, and to make the beer we need the malt. So, you know, they go hand in hand, really. I'm just stirring it inside the tin, just to get it to loosen up, which it seems to be doing as well. Right, so here's the fun part. And there's got to be an easier way of doing it, but So it's not quite cleared it yet. It's better. Like I say, I would have probably been better off using actually warming the tin up beforehand. I'm sure a lot more experienced and proper home brewers out there would say exactly the same. You messed up there. Just cleaning that chuff in there because the lid's got loads over it. So we're not far off nearly clean now. Don't get this on your side because it makes a mess. Let me tell you. Right, so turn that down. That is mushied up lovely now. So I'm going to add this. Just making sure it's got the rest of the stuff out of the tin. The tin's going in the bin. I'm not keeping the tin. But I do want to show you the tin when it's in its clean form. Put the mitts back on because I don't fancy getting burnt. And there we have it. A clean tin. Like I say, you've got to get all that stuff out. As damned annoying as it is. Now you can read the instructions, do it in the instructions way, which if you're a starter home brewer, you probably are better off doing that way. So here's the rhubarb. Ta-da! All nicely all mushed up. You know, it's all mushy now. So add this to the brew. A couple of splats on the side. Right. So now it's just banging the cold water time. And pray to God it turns out okay in the end. Obviously, one never knows. And isn't that the funny thing about doing brewing, you know? But you know, all your big breweries started out somewhere. All started out something like this and then expanded into doing it properly. So I'm going to leave this as long as I can for that rhubarb flavour to get in there. And obviously I've made rhubarb wine, so I know that it will work, should work at least. I'm going to put in total 25 litres. Now I think this is going to bubble up like a swine. And you know, it's sort of an experiment thing, isn't it? You know, adding cappuccino to a brew to make a cappuccino stout, or adding coffee to the brew to make a coffee stout. Obviously, making sure you don't overdo it is the thing. You don't want to make something that's that potent that you can't drink it. But you've got your base. Your base is there. The Wilko's kit is your base. And you just work off that base. As that woman on the sang about, it's all about the base. Oh yeah. And there you go. I'm going to give it a good stir. Try and get the temperature. Try and really release that temperature. really want to put this at a height that I don't have to, that I can smell it, you know, just to get the smell of it. Temperature's brilliant. Perfect for adding the yeast to. Always check your temperature. If it feels more than lukewarm, you know, you've got a thermometer. Follow the instructions, you know, really. But, so, dash the yeast in. Obviously, I'm no expert. There's people out there who watch the channel who are much better than me. But it's all about experimenting. So the yeast is on. The lid's on, and I'm excited. Obviously, it'd probably take you a bit longer because I had everything already ready, bar the tin opener. But it's going to be interesting. I don't care how long it brews, it takes to brew. I put 2 kilos of sugar in, so we'll see if the yeast can keep up with it. If I need to, I can get some more yeast. But it should do, because the sugar's feeding, you know, the yeast is feeding, the sugar's feeding the yeast, yeah. And then you've got the rhubarb element as well, which should really, with the wines, it really flavoured the wines up. So it should really flavour this stout up and give it a rhubarb chocolate coffee twist to it. Quite a weird combination, I suppose, but let's go, let's do it. And that's it for this beer video. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for subscribing. See you soon. And let's see where it goes. Cheers.